Welcome to At the Bar. I'm Kristy.
And I'm Courtney, and we have a delay.
Oh, and you're listening to At the Bar. I think that's how we
Oh,
did it
that's
the
right.
first time. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
And so I keep looking. Okay, so we've set things up differently here today with the podcast. And anytime we make a change, of course, it takes us a gazillion years. Courtney got here at 8:30. It is now quarter after 9. It has taken us. Now, I did have a few primping to still do to prepare for this, but it took us a long time to get to this point, almost an hour. Holy cow. Okay, but we're here. New setup. Hopefully everybody likes the new aesthetic. Hopefully we're still playing with it. Season 2, you think we would have it down pat. And what I keep doing is we have the setup so we can look at each other while we're talking, but I keep looking past my camera at Courtney. So if you see me doing this, it's because I forget that I'm supposed to look at her in the camera. It looks like we're in two different places, but we're actually in the same place.
We're literally sitting across from each other.
Oh, are we supposed to say that? Is that like what do they call it in reality shows, the third wall? Did we just break the third wall?
I think we just broke it, it's fine. We're all about real.
And we also have a little echo in our ear, which we're using these fancy AirPods this time. But I can hear myself echoing and it's driving me nuts. When I'm gonna say like early 20s, we had a friend who lived in Korea and he was teaching English while he was there. And it had a like 3-second delay. So you'd ask a question and you think that they didn't hear you and you'd start to say something and they'd be responding while you're saying something. It was a very odd thing. I don't know if they fixed that.
I don't know, but I can it's the same with me. I'm hearing myself, and then I'm hearing it in my ears like a second late.
I know this is going to be I feel like this is going to be a problem for our brains.
We'll try it. We'll see how it goes.
Anyways, so we talked about this in the last one that I've got a new puppy, which is becoming more and more like having a child, right? Like a newborn baby. The only difference is that like there's so many things that are acceptable with a puppy that's not acceptable with a person or a baby. And people have to keep reminding me that it's a dog. You can do that. So I'm trying to like the cool thing about Oliver is that he can come to the studio with me and be a part of my day and I don't have to feel bad because I can put on some crazy hours. Not so much anymore, but they can be crazy. So it's like great. I don't have to feel guilty that this poor dog's sitting home alone all the time. So, but the problem is that I do want to have a life outside of him, which sorry, Oliver,
You
if
can't
you're
yeah, you can't
listening.
even see him.
He's right beside me. But I do want to be able to like go out and have dinner and things like that without having him on my lap while I'm doing that. I don't want to be that person that brings their dog everywhere, even though he's small enough for that. So I've been trying to crate train. So if there's anybody out there listening who can, although by the time this gets put out,
He'll be crate trained.
he'll be crate trained. So we will let you know how it goes. Anyways, so I've been trying to crate train him. And so I got a new crate. Before I had just this like fence thing and would just like section him off in an area and he figured out how to get out of there. And every time I'd leave him, he'd go to the bathroom. And so I tried giving him more space, less space, doesn't matter. He'd go to the bathroom while I was out. Now we're still potty training too, but that's a whole other issue. So now I've got him in a proper crate that he can be secured into. So on Wednesday night, I went to the studio without him because I had an appointment. And so I went from appointment to teach just one class, an hour and a half, an hour, 40 minutes, maybe I was gone. First of all, everybody who walked in the studio was upset that I didn't have Oliver with me. First thing out of everybody's mouth was, "Oh my God, where's Oliver?" You included.
Well, it was because the girls in my class were looking for him. They're like, "Is Oliver here?" And I was like, "Oh, Christy and I both teach at 5:30, so he might be here when you get out of class." And they were like, "Oh, okay, okay."
Yeah,
Only we came out and you weren't there with the dog.
I know. So that was a little bit hurtful. But then I'm also anxious about the fact that I've left him. And like, quite honestly, I'm having visions because he cries when he's in the crate. I'm having visions that I'm going to come to my door and there's going to be police officers waiting outside the door. There's going to be like firefighters leaving with the dog, confiscating him to bring him to a better home because obviously I'm an unfit mother. I'm going to get arrested for leaving my dog alone. Like, how dare you? These are the images that I have in my head. I'm having such a hard time with this, which then started me thinking about things that dogs can get away with that, or that you can get away with dogs that you can't get away with people. So, leaving them in a crate, you can't do that with a baby. That's frowned upon. We were walking through the parking lot one day and a woman yelled out from her car, if you ever need, do you need a dog sitter? Your dog is so cute. Could you imagine a person
It's a
saying,
child.
your baby's so cute, do you need a babysitter?
So funny.
Oh my gosh. But then that got me also thinking about the early years. So I have a client who her sister just had a baby. And so early days, like it's been a week. And she was having a hard time. They had to go to the first doctor's appointment and had to put the baby in the car seat and they were having a hard time. And the tears and all those things that come along with it. Like I can't do anything right. I can't even put my baby in a car seat, right? And it got me thinking about how as women, we all have either had a baby or have had a friend that's had a baby, like, and I don't mean to be insensitive to those who could not have children and want children. Um, just want now I feel bad. I want to backtrack. But those early years and how we don't speak honestly about how hard it actually is to be a mom, especially in those early years.
Yeah, it's one of those things actually. Neve, for a while, didn't want kids because she didn't wanna go through that.
Yeah.
So, she's come around to it, so now she's actually like, "I can't wait to have kids and be a mom and stuff like that." But there was a time because I talked about how hard it is. I think I told the story about how one day Kian was crying, he was baby, he was colicky, and he was crying so hard, somebody told me to put him in his crib and let him cry it out, and I went in my bedroom and I bawled because I had left him crying, and I was in my bedroom crying just as hard because nobody told me how hard it was to let a child cry. They're like, "Just let him cry it out. He needs to learn to cry it
Yeah.
out, self-soothe." And I'm,
Yeah.
like, dying because 'cause I'm like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?" But nobody
I'm
talks about that.
torturing him. Yeah, I'm torturing him. I'm sorry, baby. I'm still here. I'm not abandoning you.
And literally, I told her about this because I'm very open.
Yeah.
I don't wanna hide anything, I don't want because there was a lot growing up I didn't know because nobody talked about it.
Right.
So, I don't wanna be that parent who doesn't share those things. So, from a young age, Neve knew that it's hard to be a parent. Like, it just
Yeah.
it doesn't come naturally necessarily. Like,
Right.
people think you're pregnant, you read the books, you have this child. Literally, you're with a child and you're like, "You have to figure it out."
Because the books don't really prepare you.
No,
And
no.
there's a level of instinct that does kick in, but when you go through that phase of like, I've tried everything, when the blue crying happens, I've tried
Yep,
everything. You've fed, I've changed you. Uh, you won't fall asleep. You're like obviously upset. You're obviously uncomfortable. And I have no way of fixing this for you.
yeah,
How do you not feel like you're failing in that moment?
yeah, and you're tired because that child is not sleeping, so
So
you're not
tired.
sleeping,
Exactly.
which just exasperates the whole thing,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
it's normal.
I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast yet, but I was young when I had my first. So my oldest
Mm-mm.
Kayla, I was
I don't think we talked about it.
no. Okay. So here we go. A little bit more about me. So I was 17 years old when I had my oldest, Kayla. So I have a 34-year-old. Um, and what I would say about that is there's such a difference in how I was with Kayla than how I was with Isabel. So there's 13 years difference between them. And with Kayla, like I was in high school still. So I had to finish she was born uh, the summer before grade 12. And back then in the 1900s, we had what was called OAC or grade 13. So, in order to go to university, you needed OAC. To go to college,
Yeah,
you
we
needed
had
grade
5
12.
years of university. We had 5 years
Yeah.
of or 5 years of high school, not
High
university.
school. High
High
school. Yeah. So, and yeah, it was like just there was no lap year and all that kind of stuff. So, I made sure that I finished grade 12 so that I knew that I at least could go on to college at the end of everything, that I didn't pigeonhole myself. So, I was in high school, my grade 12 year, I need to get good marks because I needed to be able to get into colleges or have the opportunity to go to university and take that OAC year if I needed to. And so there was like I would say almost like a selfishness because when you're young, you are so self-absorbed. Before you're
Yeah,
20, what is it, 25 when the frontal lobe is
I
completely
think it's 25, yeah.
right? Like there's a level of survival in you that you don't quite have. And so Kayla was put to bed, sometimes crying. But the thing is, I don't remember. I don't remember if she was challenging to get to bed, if I had to listen to her cry, or if it just was like, this is what we're doing now. And she just, this part I don't remember.
Yeah, and because when I had Kian, I was 28,
Right.
right? So the difference that I can visually remember, like, I can see myself too, like, certain times I can remember how hard it was, and I was one of those people that I was
Right.
like, "Well, baby's quiet in my arms. I'm gonna carry him everywhere," right? Like,
And that's what I was like with Isabel, because I was 30 when I had Isabel.
yep,
And the same thing, like I just couldn't, and I even felt like I had like more postpartum with her. Like
yeah, yeah,
we were in the hospital for 24 hours or something like that, which
yep, yeah, it's
wasn't like
24
that
hours.
with Kayla. I was in the hospital for much longer. And we had family over immediately because you're home. And so then people could just hang out. And I started realizing how great it was when you're in the hospital and there's like
Yeah,
visiting hours. And shame on us for
mhm,
not preemptively being like, okay, you got to be out by this time, or like you
yeah,
can come for 30 minutes. And not only that, but we had like so many people over at the same time.
yeah,
And they were all holding her and passing her around. And I remember sitting there and I'm like, I can feel myself getting wound up
yeah.
and more anxious about it, to the point where like I should have just went and grabbed her, but I got up and I left the room altogether and started crying. And then my husband came up and he's like, what is going on? I need my baby back. I need everybody to leave.
I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling of just being like, "I just want them to go. I just want them to
Yeah.
leave. I want just us. Please go."
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's because when you were 17, it wouldn't have crossed your mind germs and all those things and needing time, and whereas when you're older, you have more of an idea of, "This is what you're expected. This is what you need." When you're like, when you were younger, you would have just been thinking of yourself.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's also when you're younger, which now like is like the story of life that you understand, you recover faster,
Yes.
you have more energy. So even though I wasn't sleeping a lot, I still had more
You
energy.
didn't care.
I think even so, like sh- Kayla, the oldest, she started sleeping through the night at 3 months, and I was back to school right around 3 months of
Oh,
age.
wow.
Right. So did she sleep through the night, or was it that I didn't hear her? Oh my God. Neglect. Thank God she's old enough and she survived. But like, but is it that in that young, you're not as wound up or worried about things, and so like that whole let them cry, they're
Mhm.
okay, that was easier to do when you're younger and selfish.
I wonder, yeah, because I don't remember Kian sleeping through the night until after a year old. Like,
Yeah.
he was up at least once in the night, every night.
Yeah. And I wonder if our as we evolve, because there was a time where you did have babies when you were 16 years old because you died
Yeah.
when you were 30, right? Like there
Yep.
was a time when that was normal.
Mhm.
Historians, if I got that wrong, please, I'm sorry. But you know what I mean? Like we died younger, so we had children younger, and it was more of
Mhm.
a focus of having children. It was more what you had to do out of obligation, which by the way, isn't that amazing that that's no longer a thing? Um, but will we evolve to start menstruating later in life
Mm.
and even go through menopause, perimenopause later in life because it's shifted. Our lifespan has shifted and our timing of when we do it shifts.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only heard of things starting earlier.
Oh, it has. Okay.
Like I remember people talking about like having getting your period at 11 being young when I was young.
Right.
But now it seems a lot of my friends' daughters are starting young, like 10, 11. Like,
Interesting.
whereas I think, what was I grade? No, I was 11. But my daughter was like, I don't know, 13, 14, like
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
But all of my friends' kids young.
Hmm.
But I think I want to say, I'm trying to remember if from schooling, if it was girls hit maturity when they hit like around 100 pounds. And
Oh,
with things, I think there was a connection with that. And that as our kids eat unhealthy and don't exercise and things like that, they would hit 100 pounds much earlier than they
mm,
would have if they were.
interesting.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's, I'm not a medical person. I just remember looking into it just because I was trying to figure out why
Yeah.
I was earlier, Neve was later, like my friend's daughter, what happened kind of thing. I remember them saying one of the triggers is size.
Interesting. Oh, sorry. Getting your period, you're 90, over 100 pounds? Or
Oh, like
once you
90
hit
to
the
100
100?
pounds. Yeah. Once you hit that, it triggers something.
Okay. Because I was definitely not 100 pounds when I started.
Were you were young or older?
I was young. I was grades. How old how old are you in grade six?
12. I was summer of grade 5
Okay. And I was at the beginning of grade
and I was
six.
11.
So I would have been 12. I would have been 12 or
You
almost
could have
12.
been 11, 12.
I could
Yeah,
have been
maybe.
11, right? Yeah. Because it was, if it was the beginning of
If
grade
it,
six, then I would
yeah.
have turned 12 because I'm a March baby.
Oh, you're the same as me. Then you would have been 11 because I
Okay.
was summer of grade 5. If you
Right.
were just a couple of months later at the start of grade
Okay.
6,
Yeah.
we're about the same age.
Okay. Interesting. Were
I don't
you
know.
100 pounds?
You know what? Come to think of it, I was not 100 pounds.
All right. So then that theory
No, because
doesn't
I was
work.
dancing.
We've
No.
just debunked it. Debunked it.
Yep.
That's impressive that you got your period even though you were dancing.
Yeah, it was not consistent, and it
Okay.
was very I didn't get boobs, hips, anything like that, so
Yeah.
the things that you normally get when you get your period, nope.
Interesting. Hmm.
I also pretended I didn't get it.
Oh, like to who? Like your
I didn't
friends?
admit to anybody, to none of my friends, I didn't admit to my friends. The next summer, I remember my mom saying I was going to a camp. And I remember my mom saying to my friend's mom, because she hadn't gotten hers yet. I remember her mom, like my mom saying, "Oh, don't worry about it. Courtney will help her. She's had hers for like a year now."
And
And
then
I
you're
hadn't told
mortified,
anyone. I was mortified. Yeah, I
which is
hadn't admitted to
also
anyone.
what I really love now is that, like with Isabel, more so than Kayla, there is no shame around it.
Yeah, no, same in our house.
Yeah.
No
No
shame.
hiding it, no
Mm-mm.
putting the pad up your sleeve or anything like that.
Nope.
It's like, this is happening. I have it. Everybody, what is Isabel always says that half the world bleeds. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I wish. So, okay, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast last season because I think it happened last year. I love this for moms that do this for their boys. Neve was at school and she got her period and didn't realize. And she was walking, and a boy came up to her. She kind of had an idea, something's not right. I think I'm going to go to the bathroom. So
Yeah.
she left her classroom, and a boy came up to her and tapped, young boy, grade 9, I think, tapped her on her shoulder and said, I just wanted to let you know that you have something that you maybe should go check. And she was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Goes into the bathroom. Yes, she had it. I was like, I love that mom who taught that boy that it is okay to notify a girl. Because if she didn't know, she
Right.
would have been mortified if she found out later. So
Right.
I literally said to her, you need to say thank you to that boy because we need to encourage them that
Yeah.
this is normal, that there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Exactly.
was very proud of whoever his mother was. I don't even know who he was,
Yeah.
but I was just like, I love this. Boy moms, take note. Um, because I think boys who have sisters are just used to it nowadays. People
Right.
talk about it. So it's not a big deal. Like
Right.
Kian has heard about it forever.
Right.
And I remember once, so he had a girlfriend and she had really terrible periods and he bought her like comfort foods and things like that. So I
Yeah.
remember once when Neve got hers and she was feeling a little down, he went out and bought her a chocolate bar. And he gave it to her and he was like, just to make you feel better. And I was like,
Oh, yes.
I love being open and him being like that. Like, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. The responsibility of a boy mom.
Yep. Yep. Agreed. What was the topic of this What's the topic of our podcast today?
Did we have one?
I don't think we did. Not no.
Well, we just did. Babies,
Babies. Oh, yes.
realities.
It's called Hurt at the Bar. This was something you were talking about at the bar. That's right.
Right. Yeah.
The new baby at the
The
bar.
new baby
Yeah.
at the bar. Yes.
Yeah, talking
Mr.
about the
Oliver, who was laying
yep.
beside me
Who's
like a little
completely
angel.
he's so good. Like, he's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, wait, see if I can
Tip it. There he is.
snooze in.
He
Well,
has no idea how famous he is.
well, I do. So on Friday, Kayla's partner, so my oldest, is out of town this weekend. So she calls me up. What are you up to? Do you want to get together? Sure, let's go for a walk, whatever. And I left him alone. I had a meeting in the afternoon, so he was home alone. Same thing. Have to bathe him and everything because there's poop everywhere. And so we went for a little walk and had dinner on a patio nearby the my place. And we couldn't make it a block without people stopping. Oh my God, your dog is so cute. Can I pet your dog? Even at the restaurant, wait staff were coming out who weren't even like serving us, came out to see him and meet him. And it was ridiculous, just ridiculous. And so then finally, when it was just Kayla and I at one point, she's like, this is horrible. My social battery is completely spent, and it's 100% because of these people coming up to see the dog. I could not be famous. I'm like, yeah, now we know how Jennifer Aniston feels, right? Like it must be really hard on her. But it does, it starts to get a little bit like, okay, like just we're trying to have dinner. Can you just give us a minute?
That just reminded me, Kian was at an event. He dances at events, and so he was in Toronto, and he was telling me how he was at a bar mitzvah, and he was just sitting in the back room eating his dinner, and he had only a set amount of time to eat. So he saw this little boy coming around the corner with like his camera, and he was like videoing him, and Kian was like, are you taking a video of me? And the kid was like, no, no, no. And his friend is like, "Yeah, he was." And he's like, "They think I'm famous, so they're trying to get videos and stuff." And
Oh,
he was like, "Is this what famous people go through? Like, they can't even eat without people shoving cameras." He's like, "I don't think I could do that."
does that not make you famous? That people are wanting to capture you and like have that attitude to it. That makes you famous. He is famous.
Yeah. Well, and that's so he was
right?
just like that was the first time I think he saw where people were like, "Oh my god, you're someone." And I asked him, I was like, "Did you dance beforehand?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, that's why. They saw you dancing and then they saw you eating in the back corner and they were I
Well, and
love it.
he dances for the Raptors, and he's danced in
Yeah.
music videos. Like he's
Yeah. He's like famous.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, and I thought it was really cool that these boys were like,
Yeah.
"I wanna get pictures of him," and stuff
That's
like
so
that, so
cute.
it's cute.
And I knew him before he became famous.
Yeah. Aw. Alright. I guess that's kind of it for this episode.
Thanks for listening to us ramble about so many things. And thanks for being part of our community.
We'll see you guys later.
All right. You finish it, you end it.